Hi, and welcome to Why the Fuck Not. So yesterday we decided to do an episode, and it was a really fucking solid episode. I think all of us really enjoyed what it was. Unfortunately, fucking Windows 98.
We don't use Windows 98.
We use Windows 98.
It's Windows 10.
Yeah, it's okay. So Windows 10 had an update, right? Like,
yeah, well, it's like, do you want to do the update? And I'm like, no, of course not. Fuck off. And it killed the audio.
which is fucking bullshit that shit happens. Like,
Yeah.
it's something so simple. Like, why does it turn every program off? Like, that just brings up a whole new issue that I have with, like, constant updates on everything. Doesn't matter what it is.
This is why all the streamers have switched back to Windows 8.1 or Windows 7 from Windows 10, because there's just too many problems.
Well, it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, and it's not even just Windows. Like, even PlayStation, at least once a month, it's like, you can't play anything. You need to do this first. And it happens all the fucking time. Like,
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous, the amount of updates that constantly have to happen. Like, back in the day, they made the console. That was it. There was nothing else to do. That's fucking it. You're done.
Now you get updates on your phone and shit. But those are critical. You need those updates, or else your phone can be vulnerable.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with why we get them. I'm just,
Except for when
I hate
they
that we get them
change.
wrong. Yeah,
when
just
they
like
change the design of program. Why did you need to change to that? What was it? The bubble gum for the chat?
Oh yeah.
You're stupid.
Oh, by the way, we have a guest with us today because unfortunately, Dwight is out in the States right now, right?
Dead.
No, yeah, he died. He just fucking died. He dropped.
He's dead to us.
Aaron finally had enough. He didn't.
I'm sick of his positivity. I can't take just killed him.
Unfortunately, he can't be here for this re-recording of the podcast. So we brought my wonderful wife, Stephanie. She's joined us for here. Say hi to the folks.
Hi.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, so we decided to re-record and kind of just do generally what we did yesterday. But there's like this really fucking cool thing that we're doing at the end of it, but we're not doing it this round now because Dwight's not here for it. So we'll be doing that on the next episode.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. I can't wait.
And nobody gets to know what it is until next time.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was really cool though.
We
so I
keep
can't
talking
wait.
about how cool it is, and you're not gonna know.
Yeah, let's build that fucking suspense. Have a cliffhanger at the end of WTFN.
Tune in next week.
Next week on WTFN. So anyway, Aaron, how's your week been for the past week there?
Not too bad. Went paintballing, got lit the fuck up again. So I ran the gauntlet.
You look like it. You got bruises all over your fucking body, but maybe don't do the gauntlet next week.
Looks like
Maybe
you got
not.
attacked by a squid.
Yeah, you got like literally.
Sort of octopus.
They're all over the fucking. Like, don't get me wrong. They do it once, but this is your second time doing the gauntlet, right? Like,
it's fun.
Yeah, you do realize the definition of fucking insanity is.
Hey, I had a camera this time.
So
I had to
Sorry,
record it.
I need. Didn't you die in this fucking thing? Like,
I didn't. Oh, I almost died.
Yeah, like.
Well, I dropped the camera, and it just straight up looks like I just died halfway through.
I've seen like those fucking like found footage zombie things where it just drops to the ground. Like that's what it was.
It was
just
reversing. That's what it looked like.
It's cool that you're doing this though. Like, you found yourself an outlet.
I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, no, you beg me all the time to get the time off to do it, and like I get it. Like it's awesome to be able to like have a hobby that this is something that you love doing. So like I'm gonna be joining you actually. I think in 2 weeks. I'm planning on going out there. So if you're gonna do a daytime thing,
we go out pretty early.
When?
Opens at 10.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll hit that up at 10.
There.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a while since I've done paintball.
I want to go.
The wedding,
this
actually.
time I'm gonna wear pants, not shorts.
Probably a good idea.
And I don't have to worry about my face this time.
Yeah, the last time.
You should worry a little bit.
Well, it was the wedding. It was the week before the wedding that we did it, and she got shot in the face. But it didn't bruise, so.
It glanced the mask, but I felt it on my chin. I'm like, no, the wedding pictures!
And it turned out okay.
Fine, so
I mean, every other part of her body was bruised and red.
Yeah.
But,
I was bleeding.
Yeah, but her face.
Was bleeding.
It was fun.
It was fine. Whatever.
It's like all these patches of blood in her wedding dress.
I know, it's really cool, though. Like, so much fun. I love doing that. So I am going to be joining you guys probably in a week from now.
I think I'm going to get my own mask if we do that so that I can actually see what I'm doing with glasses.
Yeah.
So that'd be great.
Yeah, we might do something like it. We haven't really figured
it. Can you wear contacts?
I can. They just get really itchy.
Yeah, contacts can be annoying. I wear contacts usually.
I've never done contacts. I don't like touching my eye. Like,
well, you
I
don't need contacts. You can see just fine.
No, I know that. Yeah, my glasses are just for like strain, so that I don't get headaches and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that weirds me out. Like touching your fucking eye to put things in and then having to take it out. There was like a case of some girl that like Yeah, like that thing, like to get the. That doesn't bother me when people do it. Like it's not that doesn't bother me.
I gotta be careful when I do that because I vape so much, so I always have like nicotine on my fingers. It's like
right in my fucking eye.
I've done that before. It hurts.
I think there was like a case of a girl that had like almost a 1/4 inch thick of glass in the back of her eye because it kept going behind and like.
Oh yeah, no, her contact lenses.
Yeah.
They kept going into the. There's a thing in your eye. I can't remember what they call it, but pretty much that they're now encouraging when you go for your eye exam for them to flip your eyelid to see if there's something. And it never agitated her, or she just never.
Yeah, it was
reported.
weird.
Used to it.
Yeah, it was a very weird
She
case
had
of
like
it.
30 different contact lenses all fused together in this little pocket in the back of her eye.
Yeah, it's weird. So look it up, and they have the actual contact lenses, what it looked like when it was fused, because it was like 20 years of this,
That's
or 10 years or something like
Yeah.
that of it. So it wasn't like every day. It was
I
just
think
like,
she
they're just,
went
like,
for like.
oh yeah, it must
Yeah.
have fallen out. Like fucking.
But,
I don't think
like,
contacts really do that. You
I
kind of
think
have to
she
like.
went because she went
Mine
in
will fall
for
out if
cataract.
I open my eye big enough.
She
That's
went
still
in
fucking
for like
weird.
cataracts or something.
Steph, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Well, nothing out of the usual. Just crafting and looking up research that I'm not at liberty to talk about.
Yeah, she's part of the surprise at the end. So, not to mention that right now she is crocheting. So,
Yeah.
Whatever. You guys have your fidget spinners.
yeah, we do have little fidget, and I just crochet. Like that's the real fidget spinner, right?
The original fidget spinner.
Myself, fairly quiet week for the most part. Busy, like lots of work and stuff like that. So, I've managed to go through my entire record collection, put sleeves on everything, and make sure that it's like in alphabetical order. So I did all that, and that's done.
That
Yeah.
must have taken hours.
It took about two and a half hours.
You know how fast I can make my shit alphabetical?
Yeah, you just click one button.
click.
Yeah, I can't really click that. I literally had to pull everything out, get these plastic sheets, put them on, and then when I realized I put them on and I put them all away, like I put them in a way that the sheet would fall off when I put them in. So I'm like, fuck. So I had to take them all out, reverse it, put it up so that the sheets are out, the openings on the up part, and like it just, it ended up taking twice as long as it should have had, but like it got me like I started looking through my collection, started realizing some of the holes that I have and some of the stuff I want to get. So it was beneficial in that sense, and it's nice to just kind of sit down. Like you may not have the same feeling behind it, but I just popped on a record and did this shit. It was almost therapeutic, kind of sitting there like fiddling around with the shit and like organizing. It's one of the things I like doing. That's what I do with my game collection, movie collections and stuff. Every now and again I just pull it out and start fucking organizing it again because it gets messy. Because I'm too lazy to do it when I get the things. I do it afterwards. So
I do that. I move around files on my computer because I have like 5 different hard drives.
I'm gonna put this one here.
Yeah.
I guess it fucking
Feels good.
Well, if you didn't know, this is Why the Fuck Not, where three friends gather around one table and bring random topics. And this one's probably going to be a 3-topic conversation for your listening enjoyment. So today, I think I'm going to take the lead on this one because something very recently that has happened is Chester Bennington. If you don't know who he is the lead singer of Linkin Park. Was found dead in his Hollywood home, I believe, and he had hung himself. It's a pretty tragic thing when this type of stuff happens. And the thing I kind of want to talk about is one, how can we prevent this in future cases? 2, I also kind of want to talk about conspiracies because it didn't take much more than an hour to an hour and a half for conspiracies to start arising from this.
All types of different ones.
Oh yeah, like there's several of them, which is fucked up because like back in the day difference between
not
like
even enough time for the police to do an investigation at this point.
Yeah, I know, it's like barely anything has even happened.
Yeah.
They haven't had press releases or anything. It's all been media doing this.
Well, he hasn't had an autopsy yet.
Yeah, nothing. It's just they found him. Then everything was speculation past that. And then, like, I mean, if you think about it, like, back in the day when, like, we talked about the Kurt Cobain conspiracy, that took years to build that conspiracy the way that it is. Mm-hmm. This was built in hours. Like, is it the computer age that brings that up? So these are things that I kind of want to talk about. So to start off, Chester Bennington was found dead on the 20th.
June 20th.
June 20th, 2017, if you're listening to this a couple of years from now. Just in case, you never know. June 20th, he was found in his Hollywood apartment or Hollywood house. Hung in his room.
Yeah, apparent hanging, suicide by hanging.
Yes, that's what it is. And a few months back, if you recall, there was another big name that died the same way in close to the same area, I think, Chris Cornell of Soundgarden. So he was also found hung in his...
May 18th.
Yeah, May 18th, was it? Okay, so May 18th. Now, where the conspiracy starts leading in is that Chester and Chris were really good friends outside of the music industry. So they actually, in fact, I think Chester is the godfather of one of Chris Cornell's daughters. So they know each other. They're good friends.
Close,
They're close enough to do that. I would say you're pretty close, at the very least.
You don't do that with a stranger.
Yeah, you really don't. You don't fucking just walk in the street. You! Come here!
You want to father my child when I die?
Come on! So they're close, and from what I understand, I haven't looked too deep into it, but from what I understand, they were well known within the music industry of being two people that out music industry people that deal in child pornography, which is a actual real problem in the music industry. Why the music industry in Hollywood, I'm not sure why it gets so deep in there, but like there's conspiracies running all the way to the president sometimes with child pornography.
Oh yeah.
So
well, there was Pizzagate.
Yeah, the Pizzagate thing.
Let's not forget Pizzagate.
Yeah, I know very little about Pizzagate, but
Yeah,
I do know what it is. Like, I want to give a refresher for the...
Pizzagate was this large conspiracy that mostly came from WikiLeaks and John Podesta, who was like... who was he? I think he was the Speaker of the House for something. And basically, in the WikiLeaks, there was a bunch of emails released that had some, like, weird references to pizza and this one pizza place. And, like... people went crazy about it, started saying John Podesta is like a serial child molester, and then there was all these connections with this pizza place where they had like these weird rituals in their basement and had all these weird bands play. It was some crazy thing that ended in some guy showing up in the pizza place with like an assault rifle.
Yeah, and there's nothing going on there, right? Like when they came in?
Yeah.
Now, what I think, I'm not 100%, but what I thought was that was what's it called? Almost like a front name for what it was. Like the pizza thing wasn't necessarily where it was. It was kind of like doing a front, like giving an incorrect name, almost misleading with it. I think that's what the
Well, there was a lot of weird connections between Podesta and this pizza place, and the pizza place also had like there's this symbol that is for pedophilia that is like actually internationally recognized by the FBI. They put out a press release on it once.
What I don't get, and like, because I don't get fucking child pornography. I don't get like child molestation. I just don't. No, but like I don't. Even in like serial killer stuff, I understand. Like I get it. Like I understand the attraction to it with people. Like they have that like pent up thing. Like they say all humans have that like internal instinct, like to kill and stuff. Like everybody has it. It's just being able to control it. So like I understand that, but I just don't. I can't hit that correlation. Things just don't connect to me when it comes to that. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Mental defect based on trauma or just bad genes, I guess.
So my next question is like clearly really bad situation, doesn't matter. Like, and even the people that are doing it, they know that it's bad. Why would they trigger a symbol to it? You know, like why would it be like stamp the situation? You know, like that's my question. It's like
people
why
are
is
always looking for groups, right? So it's a way to identify and to show other people. Like I've seen it stamped on coins and shit.
Whoa, fuck.
Yeah, like there's weird shit.
Like, I mean, I even understand, you know, stamping the Ku Klux Klan and stuff because they are a group of people that like associate and are proud of what they do.
And they're anonymous, right?
Yeah.
So if you see someone who has this symbol, you might go, "Hey, you want to go fuck a kid later?"
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Why would you want that associated? Like, and especially when other people know what the symbol is, you know, like the government and stuff. It just doesn't make sense to me. Man. It's just a lot of confusion for me. Like, I just don't and never will understand. No. And it's one of those weird things that, like, in society that it happens, and it happens more commonly than I expect.
And it's not
like,
just Western cultures either.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand, never will. But regardless of the situation, Chris Cornell and Chester was very, they were activists against it within the music community, which is a pretty heavy thing in that community for whatever reason. Why Hollywood is the thing that it happens. Maybe it's just because there's more focus on that, which is
power.
Yeah, power.
People trying to get power.
Yeah, like maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like feeling powerful.
Starting young. I think a large part of it is power.
Yeah, like having a power trip or something, or being like feeling in control of a situation.
Because children, children don't really know at a certain age, they don't know what's going on, and then as an adult, like you have control over this kid or young teenager.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Right?
Yeah. It's almost like the naive behind it.
Like,
But anyway,
I don't understand the attraction for it, but
it still happens.
Yeah.
So Chester and Chris were very well known for outing these people and putting it in public eye that this is happening. So the conspiracy goes that Cornell was murdered, not suicide, based off of this, based off of him doing this.
Same with Chester.
Yeah.
The conspiracy I saw, a friend actually sent it to me, was... Well, there's a couple conspiracies here.
We're talking about one specific at this
We'll
moment.
start with the lesser one here.
Yeah.
Well, there was a conspiracy that, of course, Chester was murdered. People always like to throw that around.
It jumps. People don't want to believe their hero would kill themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's
Even
what it is
though,
that happened.
if you go look at his lyrics, he's talking about suicide, cutting himself.
all the time. From the very
time.
beginning.
This was a very depressed person.
Oh, absolutely.
he was just had an outlet.
He was a child sexual abuse survivor. He had some sort of post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, I believe there's actually people within his life that have testified, or not testified, but has attested to the fact that he said that he has wanted to kill himself due to his abuses.
Which is super common.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people don't understand it, but it really fucks with your mind.
Absolutely it does.
So that's one of the conspiracies, and this came from a website called Your Newswire, which is infamous for spreading bullshit, and it's just one of those clickbait sensationalist sites, and it gets shared all over Facebook.
It's the Onion of news sites that don't state that they're
satire.
The Onion's very, very upfront with it.
Yeah, everyone knows the Onion is satire.
Well, not everybody. I remember there was one person that I'm not going to out any names, but somebody I worked with was like, "Did you hear over 1 million people died on Black Friday?" And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" She's like, "Look," and she pulls up Facebook, and I'm like, "It's the fucking Onion."
I know. I get shit like that all the time. I have to do that to people all the time.
Like, for fuck's sake, you read the first line. That's all you have to do.
Where it says this site is satirical.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need to do. But
they do bring in some like that. There's those kind of sites that lead me to know what's going on in the world because I don't watch the news anymore.
But you and me both have kind of had this agreement that we just don't watch it because it's so fucking depressing all the time.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like the world wants to focus on nothing but negative things that we just don't want to fucking read it anymore. Like I feel more positive not knowing what's going on in those because they never talk about that person that saved everybody. They always talk about the person that killed everybody.
It's always one-sided. They never tell you the whole story. They tell you the one part of the story that they know is going to get the sales.
Yeah, well, it's sensationalism.
Yeah,
Thank
clickbait,
you. That's
right?
the word.
Yeah,
clickbait. Right, and that's what Facebook is based off of. BuzzFeed.
Facebook and BuzzFeed.
Well, I was
exactly
talking about newspapers, but okay.
Yeah.
But this story that we're talking about came from one of these sites that don't necessarily come out and say that they don't do any research on what they say.
Because they're not real journalism.
Yeah.
Basically.
They're just gossip.
Even though they claim to be. Yeah, they're glorified gossip, which now everyone thinks is okay to just share this shit on Facebook.
Without any research or
I bet
references.
you more than 80% of those people don't actually read the article. They read the title, the heading.
Front part, they look at the picture, and then they comment. Like, oh, that's disgusting. Like, did you read the whole thing? Because I read the thing, and they actually go into it.
Someone showed the click-through rate on stuff like this, like how often people actually click on the article, and it's like less than 60%.
Yeah, I believe that absolutely. Because I would like to think that most people out there have a mind on their head, or have a mind in their body to be able, like, I know that they don't. I just want to think this. I'm choosing to because I feel better about it. But there's a lot of people that don't.
That's how I was until I saw those lineups every time they release a new iPhone, and I was just like, no thanks.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. It's true, though. You don't see that on anything else. It's always the iPhone. Like, oh, I need to get iPhone 7. I need to get iPhone 8. The fuck? Oh, my God.
Which is why I was super happy.
8.1.
When there was 3 people, like, at the newest iPhone release. I was
That's
like, yes,
awesome.
they're starting to realize.
Yay!
Well, agreed.
Anyway, another...
Either that or they're running out of money.
It's possible. You can only spend fucking $800 a year on fucking garbage.
For 4 years.
Yeah, there's a certain point where you have to be like, okay, that's enough.
I'm poor now. So another one of these conspiracies is, most of this is based probably off the fact that Chester kind of looks like Podesta.
And
John
now,
Podesta.
Not everybody knows who John Podesta is. I didn't know until you told me about, because this was our topic yesterday.
He was this guy from Pizzagate who people keep saying he's a serial child molester. He's some sort of politician.
Mm-hmm.
So people compare these two pictures and like they're like, oh, they look very similar. So hence the conspiracy is born that Chester is Podesta's illegitimate son, and he was murdered to cover up the ongoing pedophilia ring, and he was going to expose him.
Do you think at this point there was any exposing to happen? Like, Pizzagate's already happened, you know, like there's not a lot more to go off of it other than like what's already out there. Like, all it would be is just another person being like, and let's face it, when Hollywood says, nobody listens to what the Hollywood people are saying. They're not, when they're like, oh, this person's this, nobody fucking believes it anymore because there's too many Tom Cruises out there, you know. Like, it sounds dumb, but it's true. There's way too many fucking people like Tom Cruise that just are the dumbest fucking people alive. They just have tons of money, so they feel that they have the right to say whatever they want. Yeah. And I think that's what would end up happening with if like Chester, if he started doing this stuff, they would just be like, he's just joining the fucking mass people that believe in this conspiracy that's going on. So
probably, but Chester has some credibility behind him.
He does, I agree. Like, at least to people that know him and know what he does.
Yeah.
So the point of like this topic for me anyway is just everybody jumps on the conspiracy bandwagon very fast. And I wanted to point out just how fast, especially with the way that the internet is now compared to like when Kurt Cobain died, it took years for the conspiracy to really come around to be like, was he murdered? Was
People
he this?
People didn't find out he died for days. Yeah. I found out Chester died within minutes.
Yeah, it was minutes of his death. Like, as soon as it was reported.
It's crazy. Because is TMZ, man. I fucking hate those monsters.
They literally follow fucking
they're like cockroaches.
Yeah, police around and stuff to see if maybe the police are going to stop something that's going to be interesting with somebody that's like higher up in the well, we'll just say Hollywood for an example, but I don't think TMZ cares if it's Hollywood or politicians, as long as it's a well-known person that they can put a scandal on.
And there's so many times where like they've released something without the family knowing. Like, imagine if you're one of his kids and you find out your dad just killed himself on TV.
Yeah, you just pop on Facebook and that's what you're seeing all over the place. You won't believe it, right?
That's fucking
ridiculous. So many times that fake deaths end up on there. Like, I've heard Morgan Freeman dying and
those fake deaths.
Yeah, fake deaths. They
happen every day.
Like, I remember hearing Charlie Murphy died from a TMZ thing, and I'm like, I don't believe it. Like, there's no fucking... And he did. It was one of those situations that he actually did die. Yeah. But, like, that was almost instant. You know, like, do you think Eddie found out about, like, Eddie Murphy? Did he find that out at that point, or did they find it first, right?
But, like it's up to the police to inform them. But when you have all these other people just snooping around with cameras, you're not in control of that anymore.
No, you've lost control.
Would they be considered witnesses?
No, witness would be of the actual act of whatever happened within that situation. So if you witnessed the heart attack, and I think that's what it was for Charlie Murphy, or if you witnessed the hanging or something like that, that's where you become a witness on it.
Or if you found his body.
Yeah, or if you found his body, you would be considered a prime witness.
I think you would be more than a witness if you watched him hang himself and you just sat
there. There was a new thing in Florida that I was reading up on where a handicapped person, not mentally but like physically. He walked with a cane and he didn't really do really well with his leg. 3 kids were getting stoned in a park, and this kid said he was going to go in the water, and they're like, no, don't do it, you're going to die. And he did go in the water, and he started drowning, and all the kids just laughed at him until he was dead. And they're not getting any charges against him because there's no Samaritan law in Florida.
Oh, I guess so.
They don't have that. They don't, not even calling 911 or anything. They didn't have to do anything because there is no... Now, this would probably cause them to look at that bill and put a bill on it to be like, that there's going to be a Samaritan law. Something bad has to happen for it to happen. But the fact that they didn't report anything and all they did was just laugh at him. Like
I don't think they should get charged with manslaughter, which is probably what would happen here.
Negligence.
Negligent homicide.
Negligent homicide is what it would end up coming down to.
Which is still a pretty harsh charge.
Yeah. Well, it is a harsh charge. I mean, the only thing that's going to happen is that they're shamed now. Like, at this point, like, they are going to be those people that just laughed at a handicapped person drowning in water. Yeah. So, like, there is, like, watching somebody hang themselves, like, technically in certain areas it's not going to do anything, but there are, like in England, I believe they have the Samaritan law that if you don't help, you're just as liable as doing the act, or close to as liable as doing the act if you don't try to do something and try to help. So
whereas in certain places in the States, if you hang yourself and you fail,
you get charged.
Yeah, you can go to jail.
Yeah, it's illegal to try and kill yourself.
It's just fucking retarded.
Yeah, I can't remember what state it is, but it's illegal to jump off your roof to try and kill yourself. Because if you survive...
Well, that makes a mess.
Yeah, well, like, we don't have time to clean this up. But that's,
the medical bills involved with not,
With surviving.
with surviving.
Yeah.
So that hits like the paparazzi. They're allowed to film this stuff. They're allowed to get whatever they can and report it for whatever reason, which is fucking sick. I think there should be like a law against the paparazzi at some point. Like a real one.
It's so hard to do that because that gets into freedom of speech arguments where you're gonna have so many people defending them. I would defend them, even though I hate paparazzi, but I would defend their right to do that.
Yeah,
that's fair. I think I like it, putting it in that sense, but like
you also have people's right to privacy.
But that's it's also invading somebody else's privacy. So like if I film somebody or something like that they didn't know, I can get charged for that.
Yeah.
In Canada.
In Canada, yes. Well, we have a one-person consent law. I'm not sure how it works with filming, but like if I was gonna do a conversation with you and I brought an audio recorder, and I didn't tell you, that's completely legal because I have one-person consent. But if I was going to record yours and Steph's conversation, that's illegal.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
That's definitely weird.
Well, it's our one-party consent law because half of the people have consent.
So you get the 50% saying it's okay.
Well, I know there was a huge thing in the news about this guy taking pictures of girls getting changed in change rooms.
Yeah, no, that's illegal.
Yeah, you can't do that. There's no getting around that, period.
Yeah. It's like, I consented.
The 50% of the party. So yeah, my point is that the conspiracies can grow really fast. Took less than a day for the Chester one to kind of blow up. Yeah. It took two party members like Cornell and Bennington to die for the conspiracy to kind of do it. They just put the two and two together. Another thing I kind of want to talk about with this, because I'm like not getting too deep into the details of things, because we really honestly don't really know them. They haven't released any true statements from the coroner's office or the police statements or even the family statements, I think
there was a statement the other day.
Was there?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what any of the statements were. I haven't seen them myself.
Oh, okay.
But either way, I don't want to get into details because I really don't know what they are. But another thing I kind of want to talk about is, like, in order for this to not happen as often, is us as a society really need to stop glorifying these things when they happen. Like, if you look at that day, I guarantee the number one news article was that, you know, like over and over.
I saw it on Facebook.
Every second person had it on there being like, R.I.P. this and all this stuff. And like, you were so awesome, you know, Meteor or whatever the fucking album is like my favorite album. It was always on rotation. And like,
well, I remember seeing the same thing with David Bowie.
Yep.
Michael Jackson.
But see, the difference between those people and this is a suicide case, and those were natural deaths.
And people like to glorify suicide.
This is where I'm getting at. Is I feel that when we do this with the suicide thing, it's almost like I've mentioned in the past. I like true crime, so I look into serial killers. One of the things that is talked about as something to be able to stop them is to stop using the serial killer's name. Stop giving them the spotlight. Talk about the victims. Don't talk about the killer.
Which is a huge problem in the States.
Same deal goes, though, I think, with suicide. You know, if you glorify it and be like, oh, Chester was amazing. He was such a good artist. He did all these great songs. Like, don't forget and all this stuff. People that are on that wagon right now that are like, I'm close to the end. Suicide. That could be the last thing to tip them over, is seeing like, oh, well, this guy got so much love afterwards. Yeah. Maybe that's how I'm going to get that limelight back. That's how I'm going to get that love back. And I'm worried that this is just going to continue a process and continue happening.
So we need to focus more on like, hey, look at the 6 kids and a wife he left.
Look at the family that's now without
his friends.
Yeah, all of his friends. And this comes up because there's an artist that I was looking into. I believe it was Biohazard. I'm not 100%, but it was another metal band that was friends with him that went, you know, it's really hard to talk negatively about somebody that just passed away, but fuck him. He just threw away 6 kids. He ruined 6 kids' lives and a wife and all of his friends. I love him, but I'm so angry at him right now.
Which is fair. That's a fair way to feel.
And that is fair. That's I think the natural way to feel if you knew him. Us on the opposite side of things, not being friends with him, not knowing him, not having any personal interaction with him, just look at the stuff that we did have. That person has interaction, shaking his hand, saying hi, giving him a hug when he leaves. You know, that's something to be angry about. We have a fucking a fast forward button that we have to look at. You know, like, oh, I don't like that song, I'll pass by it. So we always talk about that one thing there. Yeah, and I think that's something that if we just not ignore, but don't glorify the way that we have been in the past, it may stop some of the stuff happening in the future. And I think that's something that we, as a society, should probably look at and see what we can do to try and fix. Because I'm tired of turning on the fucking or on Facebook or whatever and hearing this person died because of this, or this person died because of suicide, or whatever the case may be. Like, I was done with that when Kurt Cobain did it, and that was really early in my life. So, like, to continuously hear this stuff is taking its toll on me for the most part. You know, like, I don't think I can hear another one for a while. Like, I've got a threshold, and it's starting to overfill the cup right now from hearing that type of stuff. So, that being said, this is kind of what I wanted to bring up with this whole thing. Like, yes, he was part of Linkin Park, but let's try not think about that. Let's think about his family. Let's think about him as the man, not as the lead singer of a band. Yeah. And I think that's where maybe we might look in the right direction if we start heading that way. Mm-hmm. So we do have other topics. It isn't just going to be depressing. This. Yeah, a little less depressing. So we're going to move over to Aaron, because Aaron has been following a little something in his world anyway.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but this is just as depressing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely hurt over this one. I'm losing sleep.
Well, going back to some of our previous episodes where I talked about the Darknet. Well, remember when I said Silk Road, and I was talking about the takedown of Silk Road and how it was the largest online drug marketplace that, like, basically ever existed?
Yeah, drugs, right? Weapons, human trafficking info. Too, right?
No,
like,
there wasn't human trafficking.
I thought there was like importing of, like, not slaves, but like almost mail order stuff.
No, definitely not.
Okay, I thought that
None of that was ever on sale.
Okay, I wasn't 100%. I just remember hearing something about it.
There's a lot something else on Darknet.
Stolen credit cards.
But like, yeah, like credit card stuff, child porn.
No.
Was that not there?
Fuck no. Not on Silk Road.
Okay, so I don't know Silk Road. I just think of Darknet as a whole. So.
That's completely, the markets have nothing to do with child porn.
But guns and drugs, though, is
guns and drugs, yes.
Yeah, that's the big ones.
That and, like, credit card info, which is also huge.
It's a fraud.
Yeah.
Well, fraud. It's just basically the illegal, like, hub.
Yeah, some of the illegal
of the internet. Yeah.
There's also other uses for the Darknet, but yes, yeah. So, recently, since Silk Road has gone down, another one has popped up called Alphabay. And in the recent years, it has become roughly 10 times the size of Silk Road.
That sounds pretty big.
Yeah. So, Alphabay is the largest Darknet marketplace. And if you don't know what the Darknet is, it's a hidden internet that you have to access using this program called Tor or the Onion router. And it's complicated shit. But, so this marketplace has just been taken down last week. Alphabay, the biggest marketplace since Silk Road, like 10 times the size.
So, can you give a user base estimate? Like,
probably millions.
Millions? Okay.
Or at least 1 million.
Okay, well, that's when you were saying like that much larger, I thought Silk Road was really had a high user base on it.
Silk Road was pretty big, but this is 10 times the size.
Okay.
Because Silk Road was kind of back in the early days of Bitcoin and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, now these things are pretty mainstream.
Before Bitcoin was worth $2,000.
Yeah. Now these things are pretty mainstream. So Alphabay just went down, which had a lot of people freaking out because basically it just went offline for a couple days and no one knows what happened. Everyone figured it was an exit scam, which means the admins, whoever was in charge of the wallet where people were depositing their Bitcoin, just took the Bitcoin and left. Mm-hmm. Which has happened to several marketplaces.
Well, yeah. There was that there's an actual conspiracy about that one guy getting killed from doing that, right? Like, but he didn't die. It was just a front to get some other guy trapped or something like that. Yeah. With the Silk Road.
That's going to the Silk Road. That's a little bit different.
But it was still somebody fucking off with money.
It is highly suspected that several of the FBI agents have stolen millions of dollars in Bitcoin from the Silk Road.
Untrackable, more or less.
More or less untrackable money from Silk Road while they were investigating it.
Which is an easy way to steal, right?
Not being able to track it. Yeah, because they're not going to do anything about it.
Exactly. It's just it's just data at that point.
Yeah.
At least at that point in the investigation for them, it's a data that's being stolen.
And they weren't really willing to track it or anything, or even they didn't even bring it up in court. They weren't allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that this was about so much the money as it was the items at that point. That was
just trying to get Dread Pirate Roberts or Ross Ulbricht, who is currently life in jail.
Yeah. So we do have when Silk Road goes down, another one pops up. This is just there was a Silk Road 2, wasn't there at one point?
There's still a Silk Road 2.
Oh, is there? Okay.
No, there's a Silk Road 3. Silk Road 2 came up immediately after Silk Road went down, lasted maybe 6 months, went down again.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's currently a Silk Road 3 and a 3.1.
So not as predominant as it used to be, I'm assuming.
No one trusts them, which is smart not to trust them.
Well,
there's several other marketplaces you can choose from.
At this point, I think the government's just looking for entrapment.
Well, this is a large part of this case.
There we go.
So after Alphabay went down, of course, most of my information comes from Reddit. There's a subreddit called Darknet Markets where people talk about all this shit. So people were worried as fuck. And then it eventually came out in I think it was a Wired no, it was the Wall Street Journal. They reported that there was this bust. Well, sorry, before this, there was this bust in Quebec that people suspected was related to the Darknet.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of other people, this is all speculation at this point. Some people pointed out that this guy has a lot of similarities to Alpha 02. Remember that name?
Alpha 02.
He was one of the head admins of Alphabay, the guy who apparently created and coded the website.
Okay.
That's a lot of shit that I have no idea what the fuck's going on, but okay.
Yeah, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
So, the people suspect it's him. A couple days go by, Alphabay's still not up. There's a news article saying that Alphabay is down and that the founder has been arrested in Thailand. Now, none of this was confirmed. People didn't know if the people reporting this had confirmed this with the police or if they're getting this all off Reddit, where I'm seeing all the speculation.
And now Reddit, for the most part, is
all the time.
Yeah, you get a lot of information from Reddit, but how credible is Reddit all the time? Like, would you say 50% credible,
60%? Yeah.
Okay, that's
there was that time where they thought they caught the Boston bomber, and it was just some guy who wasn't even in like the city at the time.
They're just like making assumptions at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just curious about like the credibility behind it because I know what Reddit is. It's almost
Reddit
like a
has been credible for a lot of things.
Okay.
It really depends.
It's community driven, so
yeah.
Nobody's trying to screw anybody else over. They are trying to give the best information they can for the most part. There are every group of people. There's always a cynical bunch.
Of course, there are shills, what you would call. There's people who own accounts that do vote manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So people started suspecting it was this guy who got arrested in Thailand. A couple more days go by. This guy kills himself in jail.
That adds a lot of credibility to the claim.
Yes, it kind of does.
Yeah.
So people are freaking out. At this point, everyone on Reddit is pretty sure that this was Alpha 02 and that Alphabay has been seized or taken down. A couple more days go by. FBI finally puts up their usual seizure notice. When they seize a website, they put up a thing that says, hey, this Darknet address, this onion address has been seized by the FBI. They put up their banner.
So as a user on that, like if you were buying things on there, what flag does that run up for you? Like what do you have to worry about when you see that?
Everything.
Everything?
You know that the site is compromised and you're probably fucked.
Okay, so there's a good chance you could get charged with the trafficking of whatever it is.
Well, if we go into the specifics of this, when you send your address, your information, you are supposed to encrypt it in PGP, which is pretty good privacy.
Okay.
Now, I'd
want great privacy, but okay.
It doesn't exist. Pretty good is all you get. So, I explained this before. This is the metaphor with the lockbox. It's a way to encrypt shit that only you have a key to. And it has not been broken as far as we know. But if you do it manually, you're safe. But there is an implementation on the site that'll let you encrypt PGP on this site.
Okay.
But that can easily be broken.
Well, I mean, it was put on by the admins of the site,
exactly.
Right?
So that can be broken. So if people started speculating, if you encrypted your data through the site, that it is not encrypted, which we're pretty sure that is true.
Okay.
So if you did that, red flag, burn house, move to Belize, you're fucked. So
Belize. Why Belize? Why Belize? Do you like sloths or?
It's something. It's a big thing. It's a saying on the Darknet because the owner of the Silk Road, in his notes, his major plan was if he got caught was basically burn house, move to Belize. So that's just the joke. Whenever
thing to
someone
go.
gets
Gotcha.
busted. Yeah.
All right, kind of like Mick Foley falling off of the Hell in the Cell tower.
Yeah, the thing that comes up on Reddit in every thread. Yeah.
There was this one time that Mick Foley was on top of the Hell in the Cell.
The Punisher plummeted 16 feet.
Into a table!
Yeah. Goddamn, I hate that.
I love it. I think it's so fucking funny.
I'll get halfway through a comment and it's like, this is very informative. And then I'll start seeing that. And it's like, I just wasted 10 minutes.
Son of a bitch. There's no waste with that fucking thing, though. I'm just saying it's fucking excellent. Have you seen it? It's awesome.
Of course.
Okay, so he gets caught. He commits
Kills
suicide
in jail.
in jail.
He would have been facing life in jail.
Yeah, and like
easily.
in not like a Thai jail, right? Was that where it was? Thailand?
He wasn't in Thai jail. They definitely would have extradited him.
Yeah, okay.
To the States where they can torture him.
Yeah.
Throw him in Gitmo.
They would definitely probably do that too, especially with the circumstances in which
Trump would fucking waterboard him himself.
Probably. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
So they put up their banner and there was they released there was a news article on it coming from a Dutch place because this was a joint operation between FBI, Interpol, Dutch police, like a bunch of people.
Okay.
So this is a major global thing. And then people are freaking out because Alphabay's down. They know that the Dutch police have seized the website.
So at this point, they have to worry about the fact that they've been buying things on there, so they're now in the system.
Well, they don't
losing money, right? If
they don't know how long they've controlled the site, or if they just brought it down immediately.
Like the second they got it. So it's just a worry, and everybody that's in that situation would probably instantly think of the worst.
Of course, because that's what you're taught to do.
Yeah.
So, a couple more days go by, probably a week. Another marketplace by the name of...
Please tell me it has Alpha in the name.
No, it was Hansa that went down.
Okay.
So Hansa Marketplace goes down.
And this was like the second competitor? Like it was the second in line?
But
okay.
Alphabay was significantly larger. Like 10 times the size.
Like Walmart versus mom and pop shop?
Yes.
Okay.
So Alphabay goes down. All these people don't have anywhere to buy and sell their drugs. Everybody immediately rushes over to Hansa.
Okay.
Hansa had 8 times the amount of people sign up.
In very short period of time, right?
Like, a massive influx of people.
See, like, if I were in that situation and I was the person trying to sell said drugs, I would probably just have a cool down space. You know, like, just don't do anything for a little bit and watch what the fuck happens. And you think that's what you should do.
A lot of these people aren't smart, we've seen.
Okay, well, apparently if they just jump right over to another thing and do it there.
So, a couple of weeks later, or a week later, Hansa goes down. People are like, what the fuck? What happened? Same sort of seizure notice. This guy comes onto Reddit, says he has information. Actually, this happened 10 days ago. He says that Hansa has been compromised, that the FBI has a copy of their server and is currently running the marketplace. Nobody fucking believed him. Turns out, absolutely true.
He was part of that 60%, goddammit.
Yeah. So, what happens is when Alphabay went down, the FBI had seized it. They had also seized Hansa, and they were controlling it. This was a honeypot. This was basically entrapment, where we're waiting for all these people to come over and sign up. A lot of these people using the same usernames and passwords.
Fucking dumb.
Yes.
Just
a
dumb.
lot of these major vendors. Now, there is this thing called 2FA, two-factor authentication, where you need a PGP key to sign in completely, which if you're smart, you'll have that enabled.
Okay.
Somehow, the Dutch police is changing people's PGP codes. We know this because there's something in the PGP code where you can verify that it belongs to the person. Some genius is out there looking at all these vendors on Hansa, grabbing their PGP codes and verifying it. Now, instead of being the vendor, it says Dutch National Police.
Huh.
They fucked up hard, the Dutch police. So now there are lists of vendors who they know have been compromised.
So you can just avoid
said
lists.
But you don't know if everyone's on that. Basically, these people, the FBI or the Danish police, the Dutch police, sorry, They're operating this market. They were for 10 days.
Who would have thought the Dutch police would be able to pull this off? Like they not that like our society has always like planted the Dutch as not the smartest and really behind the times.
No,
and they
the
were
Dutch
not
are
at all.
good, man.
Yeah.
Now, the Dutch are they're cocky bastards. They have this other website. Not even, it's a hidden website. It's on the Darknet. And it basically says the Dutch police, it's addressed to like vendors on Darknet marketplaces saying like, we're coming for you, we're watching you. Here's a list of all the ones we've busted. Here's a list of all the ones we're working on. And like, they're big name vendors on there.
Right.
Oh, fuck, why would they warn them? You know, like...
I don't know, man.
That's just fucking mind games is what that is. They're fucking with you at this point.
They're really fucking with you.
This is like fucking Hunger Games.
I know. I love this drama. I just love watching this shit. I don't even buy off these marketplaces. It's just amazing.
What you should do is start an illegal betting ring on this.
Because that's totally going to help you see information.
Yeah. So
Why
now
not?
Hands is down, and there's this other marketplace, Dream. And the same sort of shit's going on. People are saying that Dream Market's compromised because people have their PGP codes changed and shit. So basically, the top 3 Darknet marketplaces are now like, nobody knows what the fuck's going on. 2 of them are down. 1 of them is probably compromised.
How long would you say that they were able to go without any issue? You know, like without being compromised at all?
The markets?
Yeah, the markets, yeah.
Years.
Years?
Alphabay has been up for 3 years.
So, like, in a sense, people were just getting comfortable.
Yeah.
And they just were like, this is fine. It's just, it's fucking day-to-day work. It's your mundane job that you have to do. So people were not really thinking much about it.
OPSEC is key, man. OPSEC is key. OPSEC will get you killed if you do not practice it properly. All these people who, like, I'm seeing threads from people who ordered just anything. And they're like, I didn't encrypt my shit. I encrypted it through the site. I'm not using Tails, which is like a Linux-based operating system. I'm using Windows. These people are fucked. They have tens of thousands of people who they are going to investigate. And we know this for a fact because Silk Road has been down for probably 6 years now. They are still arresting motherfuckers
like it hasn't happened.
From the information that was on those servers.
That's fucked up. And like, this is one of those very few times that I'm so happy that I'm computer illiterate that I never got to doing like anything like that. Never really, not even knowing how to get onto the Darknet. You know, like that's. I'm so happy that I've put myself in that position. Because if I was younger and dumber, like when I was into drugs, I probably would have jumped on it. Like, hey, look what I can do.
Oh, I can get a gram of MDMA for $10.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of $100 here.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Dangerous as fuck.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking around with that seems way more risky than it's worth the payoff in it. So. Well,
I mean, it has its pros and cons. Like a lot of people who use it think it's safer because they're no longer gonna get robbed at gunpoint buying their cocaine.
Right.
They just have to worry about someone kicking in their door with the SWAT team and shooting their dog.
Yeah, that sounds a lot safer.
It's a little bit safer.
A little bit. It's a little bit better.
It's pretty good.
It's
pretty good privacy.
I mean, it's your dog. It's not you, but it's still your dog. So that kind of sucks. But like, would you say? Okay, this is just a random question on that. Do you think that this and what's happened over the past little bit is going to affect Bitcoin's value because of the seizures?
Yes and no.
It's stopping the flow of that money right now.
During Silk Road, that the Darknet was a large portion of Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Not so much anymore. It's probably around 2%.
Oh, really? That's a big drop, eh?
Yeah, no, the Bitcoin has become much, much, much bigger now. Like, there's people who have thousands of Bitcoin.
Well, it's mainstream.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially.
Thousands of Bitcoin. That's, wow. The amount that you get, like, that's like 200,000. Just from having 1,000.
Yeah, they're 2,700, 2,500 right now. Actually, it dropped 12% today.
That's fucked up. That's insane.
No, that shit happens daily.
Oh, I know, but like
the drops.
It's like it's basically like a Wall Street market crash.
Except
like
it's
every
really
day.
Volatile.
Yeah, like constantly. It's very fragile. Like it jumps up and down constantly.
Trust me, I have my money in there. I know.
Yeah, you like constantly. Like if you keep your eye on it, as soon as it hits that low point, just fucking buy as much as you can, and as soon as it hits the 5 point, sell it off.
Yeah, you can definitely make money off it.
You just watch.
Another interesting thing, this Hansa marketplace. 5 days before they went down, they banned all fentanyl listings.
Oh, okay. See, that's not a bad thing. I like that.
But people don't know if that was the actual admins or if that was the FBI.
Either way, that's not a bad thing because the amount of deaths caused by fentanyl has been increasing so much lately.
It's a major problem, and a lot of it is coming from the darknet.
Yeah, like I was hearing it happen in Winnipeg, and people are like, "It's coming to our town." I'm like, "Yeah, this shit's happening everywhere. It's not
here. It's definitely here. My brother sees overdoses every day in the hospital.
That's fucking insane. Like you would think at this point that you would be under like a trusted. If you're going to do any type of drugs, you better really fucking research and trust.
Dumb as fuck.
People will try whatever they will try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. Speaking of which, I got something you could try after. You just need to try it. I don't know. I'm not willing to try it.
No. Something that is active in milligrams that can kill you. No thanks.
Yeah, well,
micrograms.
Micrograms, yeah. It's even less. But the fact that that's a problem right now, that's a good thing that happened. And like, it seems like the darknet isn't as cynical as everybody says it is. You know, like everybody's like, oh, the darknet's where everything happens. Every bad thing in this world happens there. But you know, if they're gonna shut down or ban fentanyl postings, that's fucking great.
Well, the Darknet community is, well, some of it. They're pretty big in harm reduction. If someone's on there, like this is a big thing where instead of selling Oxycontin, people will take a little bit of fentanyl and press it into an Oxycontin pill. If someone on the Darknet finds out someone's doing that, they post reviews saying, hey, this is fentanyl. That person's sales drop. Mm-hmm. People are not okay with it.
I think it's not funny because it's bad that this happens, but like Amazon has reviews where if you don't get your CD 2 days late, it goes down in percentage. This one's if you fucking die, you lose 2%. You know, like
it's capitalism basically. It's a free market. This is what's gonna happen. The market's gonna fluctuate. The buyers are gonna make the market.
That's fucked up. Like it's when I was into doing drugs, like just pot, like the regular shit, we never had to worry about this stuff. We never even thought about this stuff. The worst we ever had was like somebody put coke in your fucking pot.
Which is super rare and isn't going to do anything because you destroy all the coke as soon as you smoke.
Yeah, that's the worst that we ever got, though.
Yeah.
Was like, that's the worst thing we had to worry about was something like that. We never really had to think about fentanyl
back in
or
the day,
bath salts or things that could be like easily put into your...
You could just ship pounds of weed and put a bunch of cash in an envelope and just not even worry about it. Now you have to go online and have some OPSEC. It's hard.
Things are getting difficult. Yeah. Better times back then is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Things were so much better 10 years ago. Right on. So I think in conclusion of all this is just kind of watch what you're doing because it sounds like it's not done. Like things are still going to be happening.
More are going to pop up for sure. Marketplaces.
Yeah, we're going to have more marketplaces popping up, and you might want to be super careful in the way that you're going about things.
Don't go to Alphabay 2.0.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. They're like, this is the new and improved.
There will be. I guarantee it. There's been 4 Silk Roads.
It can't be new and improved.
It's one or the other.
No, it's both.
Okay.
So let me have this one, god damn it.
No, that's the thing. It's one of my pet peeves. You can't be new and also improved. You are either new and there's been nothing before you, or you were improved and obviously you are better than before.
Well, a new name, but improved structure.
Shut your whore mouth.
All right, Steph. What is your topic for the day?
So, I didn't really know, so I was thinking, I had a hard time getting up today, but I got out. So I was like, well, what motivates you to get out of bed when you don't want to get out of bed?
It's a good question. It's a difficult thing to really answer, even for that matter. Like, what is that thing every day that you get up? Like, are you talking about like daily, or are you talking about like in general? Like over the year, your course of your year, what?
Daily, but also, because like there are days where, I gotta go to work, but you get up and you do your routine and you go. Then you have your day off. You don't have to go to work. I mean, you have to adult, but you don't have to go to work.
I was going to say the past 2 days I've had to adult. I've had no choice.
So you don't have to. You don't have to get up at whatever time you normally get up. I get up at like 4 a.m. So,
yeah, you're just getting to bed at the point.
Yeah, literally. Everybody looks at me like I'm psycho when I tell them that. Like, I got to go to work at 5:30, so I got to wake up a little early. But like, on my days off, I don't have to wake up at 4 o'clock, so I sleep in.
Till 5.
No, actually, I've been sleeping until 7.
Okay,
that's still so early.
Well, I mean,
most people, for the 9 to 5 people, I think that's the normal time to wake up. I don't know. I haven't done
for a 9 to 5. Yeah, I suppose. Like I'm getting up. I used to have the same like 5 o'clock wake ups when I was doing opening constantly, but now that I'm not, I'm like waking up around 7:30 on work days, and then on my non-work days is I sleep until like 9:30.
Yeah, so like that, on those days off where you don't really have like an appointment time to get up, what gets you out of bed?
I think
coffee.
Coffee.
Definitely coffee.
All coffee.
But
coffee
you
and
still
fentanyl.
That's
it.
You still have to get out of bed to get that
coffee
coffee.
and fentanyl. That's a hell of a mix.
Like, let's do this.
That doesn't sound healthy.
I think routine. Personally, like just routine. It's so when you're engraved in routine at that point, getting out of bed is just like you just do it. It's something you have to do. You know you have to get up. You got to do shit. So like that's not the only thing that gets me, but routine is definitely a part of it. I would say at least 40% of it. The other 60% is I don't want to waste the day away. You know, there's got to be something that I got to do or something I want to do even for that matter. So, like, sleeping until 12, sorry, Aaron, doesn't really make much of a
he's not
sense.
sleeping in, though. That's his regular
Yeah, it's just, I guess
it's still kind of early.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 o'clock is, like, that's kind of sleeping in for you, like, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
5 o'clock, now that's a good sleeping. That was a good night.
I slept till probably 4 yesterday. 3 or 4. Oh, no.
It would have been the day before at least.
Yeah, the
woke
day
you
before,
up.
yeah.
We reluctantly woke you up. Like, it was so hard.
Relentlessly. We relentlessly attempted to wake you up.
Yeah, we didn't get you up till
now
like
all
1.
of it was for nothing.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it all fucking went.
Go to bed now.
Yeah, like, I'm going back to bed. I don't know, but that's me personally. I think a routine and like having things to do. Like I like spending time with you. I'm not trying to be sentimental on this, but like I enjoy spending time with you, and I know I don't really get to do that in the evening because you have to go to bed so goddamn early all the time. Yep. So my time to spend time with you is during the day. So that's another thing that gets me up in the morning. The cat wanting food because she won't leave me the fuck alone. Another reason why I gotta get up in the morning.
She's been so whiny.
Yeah.
My cat literally headbutts me in the morning.
Yeah, she'll do that too. She headbutts her hand.
She just kind of walks all over you.
Yeah, she's like dunk, dunk, like I want fucking food.
And not even like softly, like all weight on one paw in like that soft, tender place on your stomach. You're like, please move.
I just, like that's that. Well, yeah, she finds the worst places to fucking stand on.
She doesn't even know.
But like that's what gets me up in the morning. You know, it's not like I'm gonna play this video game or anything. Like that ends up being like subsequential, like what happens later. But it's not why I'm getting up in the morning. You know, it's to spend some time with you. If you're working, then it's to get up and get some stuff done that hasn't been done for the past week because I've been working every goddamn day.
Right.
How about yourself, Aaron?
I get up strictly to drink coffee.
That's did nothing else.
Literally.
End of discussion.
Ambrosia of the gods.
I don't do anything until I drink coffee and browse Reddit for like half an hour.
So you can take those fucking words. I don't do anything until I drink coffee and browse Reddit for a half hour. Throw a dash beside that shit and then write Aaron. That's all you have to fucking do, right?
That's on my gravestone.
I just want to point out a pet peeve of mine is when that commercial, I don't remember for what coffee store, I'm pretty sure it was Timmy's, like, don't talk to me till I've had my coffee. Don't talk to me till I have my coffee. And then he gets to the store, it's like, I'll have coffee. It's like, okay, you know what?
You gotta have at least 3 pre-coffees.
At least be civil. It's like, hey, how are you doing today? I'm good. Can I have some coffee? Not coffee.
Like, give me coffee.
Well, that's great. I'm doing
like,
pretty tea
go
today.
straight fucking angry. I swear to God. I will
get
make some
it.
fucking phone calls.
You're tired. You need that perk up because you're an adult and you're addicted to the caffeine. I get it. But you can still say, I'm great. Give me some coffee.
There was a point.
I don't think you understand how tired we are.
I'm up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah. Never mind.
Sorry about your ears, guys. Sorry, that was pretty shrill.
Perks up the cat.
The cat's like woke up. What the
like,
fuck was
what
that?
What are you squealing about? Sorry. Angry squirrel came out.
For me, I remember a time where I would walk to work because I worked at the store just up the road, and there was a Timmy's in the parking lot. And walking through that parking lot, there's at least 12 times I almost got into fistfights with people that I just got in the way of them getting their morning coffee.
Yeah.
Like, and it was fucking ridiculous. It's like they're turning and I'm going straight, just walking, and I have the right of way, and they would fucking get out of their car and try and fight me. And I'm like, this is making your coffee take longer. It's like,
my mom just like won't even talk to me until I've been up for like half an hour and I've drinking like 4 cups of coffee.
she's like, okay, now it's
yeah.
all right, let's talk to
I'll
her.
just bitch at her.
Just freaking out. The fucking Silk Road.
I know. Where am I gonna get my fentanyl?
Bitcoin is down 10% today.
The fucking bullshit. I checked my currencies.
Yeah,
I
how
got
many
a fucking
do you
chart.
have now?
7.
7. Okay.
7.
7. All of them are like small amounts of each, though.
Yes.
Right? They're not like really
Well,
high
I have
up
like
there.
$70 in Ethereum.
So, yeah, there's still smaller amounts.
Let's see. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Saycoin, Zcash, Ripple.
Well, it's enough that if they all went down
Cash,
and you lost it
Chaincoin.
all, you wouldn't go bankrupt.
No, I only have like
Okay.
$100.
When's it just going to be bottle caps? Because I've been playing Fallout, and I think
Yeah.
that's the fucking... Let's just go to bottle caps.
Bottle
Fuck the
caps.
rest.
Yeah,
There's
but
a limited
here's the
amount of
thing
bottle
about
caps.
bottle caps.
We can make a currency out of this.
You can make bottle caps. That's the thing about bottle caps. You can just stamp bottle
Counterfeit
caps.
bottle
Did you hear that
Counterfeit
one
bottle
guy
caps.
that when Fallout 4 was coming out pre-ordered his fucking game with bottle caps? He gave
Yeah.
him the exact amount what would be in-game currency in bottle caps.
Bottle
And the
caps?
fucking Bethesda fucking honored it, and they're like, here
Of
you go.
course.
They
They
gave
only
him the
wanted
fucking...
it once. They only did it
Yeah.
once.
For one
person.
Just specifically
Oh,
putting
fuck,
that
let's
out
do
there.
this, yeah.
It's like, it was once.
How much was it? Like 12,000 bucks?
Yeah, it was. I think it was 7,000 or
Yeah,
something
no,
like
there
that.
have been times
Does it
where
just work at
stores
Coke?
will
I have no idea.
advertise. There was one, it was a big one, where they advertised like it was 10,000 bananas to buy this thing. Now,
probably cost more.
It cost more in the bananas, but I think the person was trying to make a point
That I can get 10,000
I
bananas.
can
goddamn.
get-
What are you going to do with this
I
now?
can- yeah, so
I know
the
where
store
Costco is.
that is not a food store, I think it was an electronics store, ended up with 10,000 bananas.
Did they donate them or just like
I
hand
don't
them
know.
out?
You're like, here's a banana for the poor, a
I-
banana for the
Banana with
poor.
I
every
don't remember,
purchase.
this was a couple years ago, like before I signed on to Facebook, so...
Here's the deal. If you argue it enough, anything that's put on paper has to be honored.
Speaking of this, do you remember that Pepsi commercial where they said if you collect enough Pepsi
get a
points,
jet?
they'll give you a Harrier jet?
Yeah, I heard about
And
that.
then that motherfucker did it, and they didn't buy him a Harrier jet.
They had to give him money, though.
Yeah, they settled for like a crazy amount of money.
Well, they would have to. At least the money worth of the Harrier jet. Like, that's
Yeah.
it would have to be if it's on paper.
Or else they would get sued for like
Yeah,
something,
not in misframe, but
False
false
advertising.
False advertising
Yeah.
plus, yeah. And then on top of that, they would have to pay.
yeah.
Or get him an actual Harrier
Harrier
jet,
jet.
one of the two. So it was probably more costly for them to just give him the money for the fucking Harrier jet. Like that's
Plus, who's gonna sell you a Harrier jet?
well, that's
Yeah.
another. Well,
Well, Russia.
they
there's
don't-
that
they
fucking
don't just
Air
give
Mall,
you
Sky
that
Mall, or
stuff.
whatever it is. You
can't
can buy
just
anything
go to
in there.
Walmart.
Oh, Sky man, you can go to Sky Mall and buy
Where
just
do you
about
get a
anything on
tank?
Sky Mall. Have
Walmart.
you ever looked on Sky Mall to see some of the
Have
shit
you ever
that
looked
can
on
buy?
the Darknet?
Oh, yeah, okay, good point. Like, they have Harrier jets.
Yeah.
Do they do
A guy sold a
to
grilled
door,
cheese sandwich.
door delivery
Yeah.
on Darknet?
No.
Yeah.
No, not for a Harrier jet. I don't think. I don't think it's
A guy sold a grilled cheese
Got a
sandwich.
package here for you guys.
Was it? Did it look like Jesus?
No, this is
I've
a
seen that
regular
before.
grilled cheese sandwich on the Silk Road.
How much did it go for?
Okay.
I think $5.
That's
That's
actually a good profit.
Okay.
That's not that
Well,
bad.
you gotta pay for stealth because like you don't want people to know.
Yeah, you don't
That's
want
still
people to
fucking
know
funny.
that you just bought a grilled cheese off the dark net because you can't make your own damn grilled
Good
cheese.
job, buddy. Now you're on the fucking database.
Yeah.
And you
For
are going to
grilled
get busted
cheese.
for your grilled cheese.
Well, if you're not doing anything illegal, can you still be?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you, like,
Just because
proceeds
you
to
are
crime.
Okay, so because you are associated with it.
Yeah, because you're technically giving money to the people who operate
Right.
this illegally.
Okay.
jumping on weird things that are sold online? I've seen a couple
Was
weird
it
things.
laced with something?
No.
No, it's
Just
just
grilled
a
cheese.
regular
Have you ever
grilled
looked up hauntings on like eBay and stuff? You can buy haunted items on eBay.
Oh god.
That's fucking hilarious. Like you can buy a doll that's actually there was one that was actually legitimately kind of freaked me out a little bit when I read all the descriptions and stuff like that, and they showed pictures of everything. It was like this clown doll. It was like a hobo doll. And they're like,
doll.
yeah, well, it was like it was an old doll, right? And that's
Yeah.
they were called hobo dolls back then. It was a clown that like a hobo clown is what they were. And he's like, this doll, we'll put it in the room, and it'll end up in a different corner of the room every single night, almost guaranteed. Anytime we try and filming it, nothing happens. But if we're not filming it, it ends up in the next part of the room. And they're like, the only like it's in perfect condition. The only thing is that the bottom of the feet are fucking worn down. And it showed pictures of the feet. And it didn't look like it was forcefully worn down. It looked naturally like people walking
just like
all the time.
someone walking in shoes.
It looked like
Or
that,
like
and I was
the
like, that
heel
kind of,
and, like,
yeah. It just looked really fucking. I'm like, wow, okay, that is, if it's got to be a hoax. I don't believe in that shit, but like, that is fucking kind of cool. That's
Yeah.
interesting, and it went for a lot of money.
I would buy that before I buy a Jesus.
I want
grilled
to change my
cheese.
topic
Oh, Jesus,
because we
grilled
kind of
cheese.
passed on.
Or a Jay Leno chip.
Oh yeah.
Can I do
It's a
that?
Jay Leno
Can I
chip.
change my topic?
Sure.
Okay. Why are we so interested in horror?
Because it's fucking awesome and fun. It's I you know what I think it is? I think it jumps to a morbid curiosity.
That Definitely.
Is it like
that
to
is something
prepare
primal.
just in case?
For sure, primal.
It's definitely something primal.
Is it kind of like because we've seen it, now we know about it, so we know how to react?
I think being scared releases an endorphin. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that gets you.
No,
It's
I
almost
know
like getting
about the
high. So
I know the adrenaline high of it because I get it every time I don't think we talked about it, not this episode, about the Evil Dead movie.
yeah, oh yeah. There's the Evil Dead movie. Sorry, I just tapped on the table. You passed out in the theater, and like it was almost. She almost had like a seizure.
No,
it was really weird.
It wasn't a seizure. It was the
Her muscles contracted.
Vis-a-vis, whatever. It's where your muscles contract when you pass out.
'Kay.
So like all the blood goes from your body to your legs, pretty much, and you lose blood pressure and you just pass out. But we were in the theater. And it's near the point where
I got to tell this part because you passed out, so you don't know.
Apparently, my arms were twisting up and my eyes were in the back of my head.
If you know the remake of Evil Dead, it's about a possessed girl. She gets possessed, right? So the people behind us were fucking freaked out next to us.
Asked if we needed an ambulance, but her eyes.
She was like, "What the fuck's going?" Because it was like literally at the part in the movie where the girl was getting possessed and was kind of like contorting, and then Steph passed out and started doing this thing with her hands, like this, and she was just like. Well, I was freaking out because I didn't know what the fuck was. I thought she was having a goddamn seizure. I was so worried.
Yeah. I don't know
the scariest
what's
I've
going
ever
on at
been.
this
Way
point,
scarier than the movie.
Oh, I watched my friend have it.
All I know is when I wake up,
scary.
Ed's standing over me like, Steph, are you okay? I'm like, what? Oh, I just passed out. I'm fine. He's like, Steph, are you okay? I'm like, okay. Like, obviously it was very slurred because when you come out of passing out like that, you can't move.
The people beside us were so fucking freaked out.
You can't move because
What did you give her?
all your blood pressure...
Fentanyl.
There's no blood pressure, everything, all your blood's in your feet, so you can't move. I could not move for 10 minutes because they were trying to get me out of the theater. And I'm like, guys, you gotta give me a second. I can't move. Obviously, a little less coherent than that, but...
Did they, like, turn the lights on?
No.
No.
The movie kept going. Because we were, like, in the back of the theater at the time, so...
So pretty much, we eventually left the theater and then sat down just outside the doors. And obviously the manager came over like, hey, are you guys okay? We're like, yeah, I just passed out. Like,
I just need some popcorn.
Are you okay?
They gave us like our money back and everything. It was a really good experience, all things considered.
Good experience, but now I know...
She wasn't allowed to drive for a half a year, but I mean, it was
actually, it was true.
Oh, yeah, anytime you faint.
I went to the doctor to see if I was okay.
Just in case it's a seizure.
Yes,
and
I've done that
I
too.
had to go through all these tests to make sure it wasn't a seizure. It took a year for me to clear it not being a seizure, so I could not legally drive for a year after this because I went to the doctor saying, but I mean, you should still go to the doctor. Don't not go to the doctor.
Yeah.
That's a bad idea.
But it was pretty funny though, like in retrospect.
It was pretty funny. She almost died.
Yeah, in retrospect, it was funny. Just those people beside us got a great show.
Yeah. It's a great story.
Like,
it's a great
is she a
story.
paid actor?
Yeah, like wow, they do this at every theater.
Now I have to go through Ed to be like, Ed, you watch this movie. Can I watch this movie? He was like, I don't know. I'm like,
Is it just because it was too
It was
scary?
no, there was a really graphic scene.
It
I
wasn't
passed
even.
out from that.
No, it was just after the bathroom scene. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, the guy gets stabbed with a mirror
in his shoulder. So he has this big
that didn't bother her.
sliver. It didn't bother me. The whole fight scene didn't bother me.
Even when they pulled it out, it didn't bother her.
It was when they pulled it out and he put duct tape on it. I'm like, it's gonna get infected.
You shouldn't do it that way.
That's not sad. And I passed out because I was thinking about the infection and the pain that would happen.
When I heard that, I was just like, that's fucking funny.
He laughed at me because the character didn't last half an hour. But so they're not gonna get him. But at the time, you don't. When you're about to pass out, your brain isn't in control of your body at that point.
They didn't clean the wound well enough.
They didn't clean the wound.
It's like you're a paramedic or something.
Well, that's how I watch movies. I like dissect them with the little sciencey facts.
That's how I watch computer movies. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
that's like, not how that works. I've seen hackers.
Was it Armageddon or the Comet one where he takes the clear the
defibrillator?
defibrillators to all of his computers, just go.
That might work.
I don't think it was
Yeah.
defibrillator. I thought it was magnets.
No.
I thought it was
no,
magnets that he put
it
to
was
it.
defibrillators.
Okay, I could have
Fix a
sworn it was
computer
magnets.
with magnets?
No, not fix it. It was to destroy
It
it.
was to destroy it
Yeah.
because the they were
need
knocking at his
super
door
powerful.
because they were.
He put them underwater and then put them in fucking put
Yeah,
magnets.
he
in
was
them.
he was
Oh
putting
no!
all the
I
shit-
was like, I'm not computer savvy,
Yeah,
but I know
alright,
that doesn't
alright.
work.
No. It was funny because he's
It'll
like
fuck
a
your
hacker.
screen up.
He's the rat.
Yeah.
It's a rat, and he's like this huge, like pretty much a server-like room.
Yeah.
And like old school computers, by the way. So like CDs and moving hard drives, not flash drives.
That's not how data works.
I
you
know.
Like,
So mechanical stuff. And he's taking these, and he hears the knock at the door. He's like, "Oh shit, it's the fish!" So he takes these things, throws all of his shit in
I've seen
in
that.
in his fish pool.
Like in water
he takes
and
the
stuff and,
things,
like,
then
just-
goes
That's
all
not gonna
down
do
his
it.
hard drives. Yeah, I'm like, pretty sure that's not gonna work because my dad's a computer technician. So I'm like,
What you want
Well,
to do?
okay.
it's just
If you're in a
listen,
real
you
hurry,
buy that computer that will blow itself up.
I want that thing.
I know. I saw that and I'm like, fuck. You would be the one that wants that.
If you're in a hurry, throw your hard drive. Always have your hard drive accessible. Pull that bitch out. Throw it in a microwave. If you have a little bit more time, you pull out the actual platters. Take a drill to those platters, and then you throw them in a fire. And then you separate the ashes and distribute them in different garbage cans.
Jesus Christ, you've really thought this through.
No, this is common practice.
Like,
Actually,
And
this is
I
how
know,
you destroy hard
because
drives.
hard drives have magnets in them.
Yeah, very
They
small
have
magnets.
crazy.
But that's
no,
the
no.
myth behind
My
it.
dad takes apart hard drives because I like to collect the little aluminum.
the actual
platters?
hard drive part of it, yeah,
not
the platters.
I have the platters,
discs,
but
yeah.
they're heavy. I use the little aluminum rings in there because they're super light, and I use it
Okay.
for crafting for like jewelry and stuff. But the platters, they're super heavy, but there's magnets involved in taking apart them, and they're crazy.
But that's
crazy
the myth
strong
behind
magnets.
it. I think the myth was stemmed from the fact that you could put a magnet on a
Magnets
TV
will
and it
fuck
fucks
it
up
up.
a TV.
Magnets will fuck up your computer. It
But
just
not
has
to the
be
point that
really
it can't be
strong.
recovered, right?
No.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
Unless you have a super powerful magnet.
I got a
like
final topic I
earth
kind of want
magnet.
to talk about real quick. This is more of a question for Aaron, and this is on computers.
How
'cause
how do I destroy this hard drive?
I really need. So what fired?
So how do
How
I
many
destroy my
garbages
cookies?
should I
How do I delete cookies?
how do I change my history?
Control-Alt-C?
What happens to computer files when you delete them and get them off your computer? They have to go somewhere.
They go to Never Neverland.
Well, they must have something.
No,
like it must be
wait,
like
You
like.
can recover
you-
them until you.
No, there has to
let's-
be
let's
left
take-
somewhere, right?
Let's take Windows, for example. How shit works is your hard drive stores everything in ones and zeros, basically.
Okay, yeah.
When
Binary
when
code,
you
yeah.
have a file and you hit delete and it puts it in the recycle bin, doesn't delete anything.
It's still on your computer, yeah.
Yeah. When you delete that file, doesn't necessarily do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you empty the recycle bin, your file's still there.
You have to
What it
defrag.
does is defrag. Yeah, I'll explain defragging. to you.
Okay.
What it does is it unallocates the space and gives it room for a different program to write code there.
Over top of it, right?
Yeah. So
Kind of like whiting out on a piece of paper.
Which is why you
Yes.
can recover things
if
for a
you
certain
want
point.
to actually wipe a hard drive without destroying it, there's a program called Derek's Boot and Nuke.
Okay.
Most people think a Windows format will do it because people say format your computer. With the Windows disk, there's a way to format it. Again, that doesn't clear everything. If you want to actually get rid of the data, you have to overwrite it.
Okay.
So what Derek's Boot and Nuke does is the U.S. Navy uses 11 passes, which means it passes 11 times. So it takes every single 1 and 0, everything on there, because that data is still there.
Yes.
Your picture is still stored in 1s and 0s. It's just allocated to a different part of the hard drive. It changes everything to 1s or to 0s.
Okay.
Therefore, literally overwriting all your information.
So that's like a literal deletion of everything.
Yes. Now,
Absolute delete.
there are...
Well, it's not really deleting it. It's just kind of covering it
The
up in
final
such
deletion.
a way that
Well,
you
it's
can't
overwriting
recover it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's overwriting it. There are ways to get shit back if you do like one pass. Like the FBI can still probably recover it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to do several passes.
So
Now there are places that, like let's say your server fails and your hard disk breaks.
Okay.
There are places that will actually repair that, but it has to be done in a clean room where there's zero like anything.
Okay, so to further the question, how about on the internet when you delete something on the internet? Because that's got to go somewhere. So like,
define delete something on there?
You've uploaded a video, and you want to delete that off. That information has to go somewhere, right?
So-
They can't just it's not like a
goes to
computer.
the
It's not the same
server.
thing.
So like we're talking
Doesn't it?
YouTube.
Yeah, well, we'll say YouTube, for instance.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as I know, you'll upload a video to YouTube. You say delete. Chances are it'll still be there. Chances are they'll store it in their servers for probably a year or something.
Okay.
Um,
But like, you mean even in that server concept, when it gets deleted off that server, shouldn't it have to go somewhere?
no, they just overwrite it.
Okay.
They change everything, but that could take a long time. You're talking about. Think of it as like how security cameras work, where it'll record, let's say, an hour, and then it'll go back to the original hour and start
then
recording
we're
over
over
that.
top of it.
It's the same sort
That's
of
a
thing.
pretty
Okay.
pathetic security camera system.
But by
yeah,
hour
for an
wise.
hour.
It's like 1983
Sorry,
right now.
sorry.
I'm
Think
just
of
saying,
that.
you got to take the VHS out, put a
tapes,
new one
put a
in.
new
Rewind
one.
it.
Yeah.
Think of that, except with a massive server that has hundreds of petabytes.
Okay.
So it's stored
Petabytes.
here, and then it goes on. Now, what? Shut up. What defragmenting
I'm
does?
sorry.
People say it will clean up or make your computer faster.
My understanding of defragging is like, because when you use your files and stuff, it kind of moves those numbers all over the place. Defragging just puts them back in place, doesn't
exactly
it?
that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, think if you have a room with tables and chairs and shit. As you put in new data, you put it just wherever you can. When you defrag it, it will line everything up basically against the walls, get you as much room as possible.
All right, everybody, round up.
Yeah, it'll put everything over to one certain space, like the first whatever parts of the hard drive to take up that much data.
Okay, so that's more like nothing ever really like gets deleted until it's rewritten
written over.
and many times by the sounds of things, like you
Yeah.
can take 2 or 3 times before it's actually gone.
Irreversibly
Yeah, like
recoverable.
Yeah, exactly. Like I won't be able to get it back if you do a Derek's boot and nuke.
Okay.
But if you do a Windows format or if you delete the file, I've recovered tons of files.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know why, but Derek's boot and nuke.
D-ban.
It sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it
sounds
does sound
like
a little funny.
boot-
It
cat-
kind of sounds like a
cat-
Fallout gun or something, you know,
cat
like the boot
boots.
nuke.
Boot and nuke.
Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots.
Sounds like some sort of weird like Sputnik word.
Yeah, 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 I don't know.
I'm from the boot and nuke.
Well, if you didn't know, this was 3 friends sitting around one table, enjoying Why the Fuck Not, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we have. Unfortunately, we did miss our original episode, so we've managed to get another one out there for you guys. It's a little late, sorry about that, but next week should be back on track again with Dwight in hand. And we have a very special ending to it that's going to carry into the next episode, so really look forward to that. There's going to be some audience participation, hopefully, where we put some stuff on Facebook for you. It's going to be really good. Steph's put a lot of work into this, and I think it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So this was a good trial run for Steph to kind of like get her voice out there, and
And I'm excited to participate.
oh, this is going to be fun. That's rare. You don't like doing anything, so this is going to be good. Yeah.
Fuck everything.
Unless it's Reddit and coffee, you just don't fuck around.
and fentanyl.
And fentanyl. Either way, if you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us at Facebook / Why the Fuck Not or Why the F Not Podcast. You can email us at whythefucknotpodcast@gmail.com. Podbean, we are WTFN Podcast, and you can also find us on YouTube, exact same name. And of course, you can find us on iTunes. We will have the YouTube one up this time because we got a couple complaints last week that it took us a while to get that out. But
Sorry,
it'll be up
forgot
there.
about that one.
It's all good. We will have it on the next one. Either way, I'm Ed.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Steph.
And we'll see you next week, folks.
Bye.